I think everything's looking okay. Yeah, morning, guys. How are we doing? Let me just adjust this. Sorry, I was a little bit rushed. I had to pick my daughter up from school. She finished early today, so I've only just run back to the chart. Okay, hope everyone is well. Speedy, how you doing? Ionis, how you doing? Lead Loser, how are you doing? Okay, yesterday. I'll have a chat about yesterday. Yesterday. Okay, on the upside, I traded on yesterday and I did 3 trades. I had a 5 point. No, the first one I think was 11 point. I had 11 points. No, I had 5 points, 11 points, and 3 points odd, something like that. Fortunately, everything worked out well actually. So, what I wanted to do was everybody can hear me okay? I think they can, can't they? It's all right. Just checking. Chips are working okay. I think everything's okay. So, I will talk about yesterday in a second. Market has opened, but we have got some news soon. So, it just seems to be going sideways at the moment. So, let me just do this a minute. Let me just adjust this to the market open here. Okay. So, things worked out okay. So, yesterday, let's talk about yesterday. I had an RC message from someone last night. Saying I was doing it all wrong, I was counter trend trading, blah blah blah. I don't know. Sometimes you get some negative stuff, and it does get in your head a bit. But I just want to get my chart up from yesterday. Where is it? Let me just grab my chart from yesterday. Where are you? Trading charts. Here we go. Sorry about that. Just get that out of the way. Where was it? It's supposed to be in all of these, huh? Nothing's happening at the moment anyway, so let me just grab a copy of my chart up and I'll just talk about a couple of trades I had. Manage. Hold on a second. It's all right. Sorry about this. It's just someone gave me a lecture about a trade I took, said a counter trend trading, and when I looked later, Mac actually took the trade. So for me, it wasn't. So I don't know what he'd seen. Let me just organize. No, rename folder name. View list. I'll tell you what. Oh, no. Oh, come on. What was this? All right, I'll talk in a minute. I'm just trying to find. Let me just search. It was the 8th yesterday, wasn't it? 8th, the 3rd, 23. I can't find it. It will come to me. Let me have a look. Yeah, I hope everyone's okay. Market is open, but at the moment we got this news, so nothing's really going on. So we're just getting some sideways stuff. Let me just view them. Options. It's all right. I've blanked out a minute how to get to view these. Where's the 6th? Where's the 8th? It'll come to me. Yeah, anyway, I wasn't due to trade today. I had a dentist appointment at 2:40. But I had a message this morning saying it had been cancelled. I'm assuming my dentist was ill or something. So, sort by date. Here we go. Date. Okay, that was it. Okay, I found it. Okay. Let me just make this a bit smaller. Yeah, I took a trade yesterday. That one there. This one there. And what I saw, I'm still possibly thinking we may make a new low. So we had this short-term trend push up, break new high, short-term trend break. That was the trade, wasn't it? I think it was that one. Yeah, it was that one. Actually, that's in the wrong place. It was this one there, I think. What was it? I can't remember. Oh, I've gone blank. It was that one there, I think I took. And someone said, I don't know, it was it Israeli? Someone said gambling. That was just gambling. Well, it wasn't. We'd had a short-term trend, we'd had a break, and I was expecting a new low, so I took it down here. In fact, it was a failure. It was a second entry long. Yeah, it was there actually. It was a second entry long, so we had a break. Sorry, short-term trend channel break, new low. And I'd seen this second entry long, so I thought I was going to trap a few traders. And someone said, what sort of trade was that? And I think it was Israel. I said, that was just a gamble. Well, it wasn't. To me, that was a valid trade. And then I looked later and Mac had taken it as well. Now, we'd had one leg down. I expected another leg down, but obviously market had other ideas because it was feasible we could come down and make this new low, which obviously we did later on. Now, that was a pure gamble. That was just a moment of weakness. But the trouble is, sometimes I think a message I got from a guy saying that trade you took, he called this counter trend trading or something. I don't know. But I mean, Mac took the trade, so I don't know. But it's, sometimes these comments just get in your head and they just piss you off a little bit. And it's hard not to read them. Now, when I started, I just have a dilemma now. When I started streaming, I had some messages for some people, 2 experienced traders and 2 guys like me, which has streamed before, said, be careful because you will get the haters and the naysayers. Now, to be honest with you, I would say 99% of the comments I get are good and positive. And there are a few people I chat with on Messenger as well. Sort of regular people I chat with, yeah, people like Nicholas, who I'm having a chat with on Friday, people like Jacko, and Wood, and a few others. You get some good, so it's the good positive stuff I get, but just now and again you'll get negative comments and it just gets inside your head. So I've got 2, I'm gonna have to change something because it's affecting me trading a bit, and I was warned it may do. So I've got 2 options. I can either stop streaming altogether, I can and just record my trades and just publish them on a video later, or I can just sort of block out comments because ultimately it's the comments. So I'll still stream, but you can just watch and have a listen, but no comments, because sometimes you can't avoid the comments because it's right in front of you on the screen. So when you get some quite negative, nasty stuff, it just gets inside your head. And I had a break after I was trading yesterday and calmed down, and I just sat waiting, and I took some nice trades, and I ended up getting. You can block the haters, but the trouble is, there was one guy, I think when I'd taken that second, the first one was just a risk, and I had one guy on here said, that's it, I can't watch anymore, it was painful, and the trade I took, Mac took the same one, so it's just annoying, because it's said in front of other people, and you can all read them, so it sort of embarrasses me a bit. Do you know what I mean? And he sort of said something and then disappeared off the site, so you don't get a chance to respond. And, you know, sometimes, I don't know, it was the one about that was just gambling. Well, it wasn't, because Mac took the same trade. So, you know, sometimes other people might see different things than me. But it's, you know, it's hard sometimes. But 99% of the stuff's good and positive. But when you get something in your head, it sort of annoys you and it does affect your trading. So I'll have a think about it over the week, maybe the weekend. But what I'll probably do is keep streaming, but just not have comments. But there are a few of you guys who sort of check. Yeah, I've tried, bud, but I just had a real shitty message yesterday saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You need to go back to sim. You're reading the chart all wrong. Every time I go on the stream, you're constantly counter-trend trading. Well, I'm not. I know enough to know what a good trade is. You know, I believe, and from what I've heard from other people, that I'm trying not to trade at the moment, mate, because there's some news in 20 minutes and second entry fairly set up. And I don't really want to go short down here at the moment because there's not a massive amount of room to the what's-its. How do we know which trades Mac took? It's after. Well, but it is after the fact. But my point is, he marked it as a high probability trade. So if he thought it was an idiotic trade, he wouldn't have marked it. So, but for me, it was a valid trade. We had a short-term trend. We'd had a break, and it had tried to go higher once. It had pushed through and had a break and gone up, and that's where I took a short. I expected one leg and another leg down, but obviously market had other ideas. But it made a point and a half, and the difference is with Mac still scalps a point. So there is that possible failure there, isn't there? Mac still scalps a point. I go for 3.5 points on average. So, yeah, that's actually not a bad trade, is it?
Order submitted.
Just a bit from the news.
Order submitted.
Mac still scalps a point, so there are a lot of times when Mac's trades are going to work, but mine necessarily won't. So, excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Daughter came in. Let me think. What was I saying? I forget what I was in now. My daughter was just coming and interrupted me. I'm expecting a new low from this. In fact, maybe like that. I don't know. I'm not convinced that's had a break, so we'll leave it like that anyway. So yeah, sometimes it messes with your head, and I got an arsey message from someone says you're constantly counter trend trading, which I'm not. I know what a counter trend trade is, and I'm sort of an advocate on not taking counter trend trades. So I'm tempted to get out of this with a point or something. Let's see what happens. So I'm an advocate of not taking count now. I think the trade's okay. Not taking counter trend trades. So I don't know why he was saying that, but it does get in your head sometimes. So try to go once. Yeah, it's not actually. Okay, let's call it a break and a new low. See what happens here. I'm talking and not concentrating. Let's see if this comes bearish. No, it's going to take me out. Okay, mistake. It's all right. Someone said failure setting up, and I focused on that and didn't do the count. So, all right, okay. I need to focus on what I'm doing. See if we can get out of this. Maybe with something. Get back down. Okay.
Stop filled.
Okay. Right, okay. I'm not focusing on what I'm doing. Sorry about that. Let me just think about what I'm doing. Okay, short-term trend here, break. New low. We have made a new low, yeah. Okay. That's all right. Somebody mentioned, that's the trouble sometimes. Mac takes 1 point. Yeah, sorry. Mac takes, still scalps 1 point. I scalp around about 3.5. That's what I like. So some trades Mac takes, they're going to, some trades I take that Mac takes, sometimes it's not going to work, but I do scalp 3.5 times the profit that Mac does, so you can afford the odd one to lose. So, okay, so that first stupid trade I took, moment of madness. Sometimes, the market tends to drop, your eyes light up and you do something stupid, and we've all done it. Half you guys are watching me, you're in the same boat as me, so we all do stupid stuff. So that was a stupid trade, and sometimes the more those stupid trades you do, sooner or later, you realise that just don't do it. You know what I mean? But but that second trade I took that I lost was a valid setup in my opinion, and Mac marked it as a high probability trade, but it was. But I think it went for 1.75. So obviously I scalped for around about 3.5 points, which is why it worked for him and didn't work for me. But I think the trade was okay. I think it was valid, which I took it. But I think it was Israel or said it was just gambling, and it wasn't. I think it's because it was quite quick after I did that stupid trade. Why you might have mentioned that, but sometimes these comments get in your head and they mess with you a bit. And obviously, trading's a lot of psychology, and you need to be quite, focused on what you're doing. Why have I not got my thing down here? Hold on a second. That should be down here. Okay, and have a look. That should be there, and that should be there. Okay. Not sure what's going on there, but yeah, sometimes these things get in your head. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying, don't you? By the way, did you look back over the last trade yesterday? Yeah, that Jonathan, that's what I'm mentioning yesterday. I did show that. First two trades I took, which were winners, they were okay. They weren't counter trend trades. We were clearly coming down. The first one I took, where we'd had the short-term trend, that was a stupid moment of weakness, moment of madness. Market's running away, and I try to get a bit of it. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. But in hindsight, stupid trade. But yeah, somebody mentioned, I can't remember who it was. Someone said gambling on that other trade I took, and it wasn't. Mac took the same trade, marked the same trade as I probably traded. It was. Please be careful. All bad trades set up something behavior. Yeah, no. It's not you, Coco. It was someone else sent me a really arsey message, which I ended up deleting. And I forget what it was. But no, 99% of you all guys are, but you know what it's like. You know how trading is. I'm not here because I'm an experienced trader. I'm here because I'm on a journey like a lot of you. And the reason I decided to stream was because I thought, my problem is when I was getting frustrated, I was hitting the buy and sell button, the market was going up, I was just hitting buy, and I was hitting times 10, and I was going for 10, and I was just going stupid. When I got frustrated, So I thought if I'm streaming, I'm less likely to do that. And I haven't randomly gone in just stupidly buying and selling for ridiculous amounts of contracts. I've taken misguided trades out of emotions, but that's what it is. It's out of emotions, and that's what I'm trying to focus on. So, but some people come on the stream, quite new, and why did you do that for? That was stupid, and all this sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, well, if I was an experienced trader, I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't be streaming. I'd be sat at home by myself, earning a ton of money. But a few people did say, and experienced traders that I chat to now and again did say, be careful streaming, because obviously when you got people commenting, you're quite exposed, and those comments can be a bit painful sometimes. Any type of criticism that's positive, I'm all for. I'm not a pussy. I'm not a big girl. I'm old and ugly enough to be able to take it. But just sometimes people can be nasty. And when they come in and they make a comment and they disappear, you don't have a chance to respond, and it can just get frustrating. And the psychology side of it is hard enough as it is. But yeah, I just thought, I think it's starting to affect me. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I think it's starting to affect me, and I've got options. I can either stop streaming and just record me trades and then pop them on later, and if anyone wants to watch them, they can. Or still stream, but just not have comments, because you can tick a box in the setup and just not have comments. So you haven't got that issue. How long have you been trading Max System? About 3 months off 2 years. So I believe I can read the markets okay. I know what a good trade looks like. I know how to draw trend channels, but I still have that issue with patience. And obviously you've got to constantly work on that. So there are going to be times where my patience gets the better of me and I take a trade which isn't an ideal trade. Which we've all done, you know what I mean? But it's a tough business, this. You can expect to be bounced left, right, from pillar to post. You're going to be up, you're going to be down, you're going to have times where, you're right, Nicholas, delay start to the streaming option as well. Yeah. I'm going to have a chat with you Friday, bud. I was due to go to the dentist this morning, but I had a message first thing this morning that my dentist wasn't in today. She'd been ill or something, so I ended up streaming. But I believe most of us have been through the same sort of system as me. The same let's say pain and suffering, for want of better. I know what a good setup is. I can look through a chart and see this is happening, that's happening, that was a good setup, that was a riskier setup, that was a great setup, and so on. I've been doing it long enough to know that. But I was chatting with Marco about it, and he said to me, "You're already you're already a good chart reader. You just have those demons that come along and play with the emotions, and you know what I'm saying." And another guy said, I subscribe to what Marco said. You're a good chart reader. You just need to work on the patience and the emotions. And sometimes if someone sees me taking a poor trade, they'll say, but no, you need to trade on a demo. You're not very good. You don't know what you're doing. And it's not the case. It's a case of I'll let the emotions get the better of me. And do you know what I mean? So there it is in a nutshell. So maybe I needed to get that out. I don't know. But sometimes people can just say something and it gets in your head. And, as much as I'm a grown up and I should be able to deal with it, but because trading is such an emotional business, sometimes these things stick in your head and play around for a bit. Now, I've worked out how to get rid of them with single malt, but there's only so much of that stuff you can drink without having a problem. But it just peed me off a bit last night, that's all. Someone says something and then disappears, and you don't have a chance to respond. But delay start to the stream is an option as well. It is. I enjoy commentary, philosophy, and in-depth self-analysis. Oh, I'm my first critic. I'm my biggest critic. Yeah, I'll be the first one to say sometimes I can be an absolute useless moron who just loses it and just goes silly. And I usually go silly when I take a trade that I know I really should have left. In other words, patience has got the better of me. And we all have those moments where the trouble is with this style of trading, you've got to think quick. And sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the moment and you jump in there and take something that you probably realise you shouldn't have done. But I believe the more you do this, the more you keep trying. And sometimes when you do fail quite a few times, it almost forges you into thinking differently. Because we've all heard the lectures about traders need to think differently. It's easier said than done. You can't just flick a switch. And I believe through pain and torture and suffering and learning, and as your skill develops, you'll take better and better trades and you'll get more and more used to the emotions. And you'll slowly start to change. And it's the only way you can do it, I believe. I don't think there's a magic pill. I wish there was. If there was, I'd be eating packets of them now. But, it is what it is anyway. So you've all been there. Most of you guys are in the same position as me. But just now and again, someone will jump in there and hit you with a comment and it will just niggle you. It'll get under your skin a bit and you'll feel like committing murder. So there it is. So let's have a look. What have I missed? Well, I've been rabbiting on a bit. How do you chat with Marco and others? What platform? I chat with them on sometimes Messenger, but if you go on to the Facebook group, Max Price Action Trading System.com. Mike's Price Action Trading System. It's the Facebook group. Sorry, Mike. I don't know. I'm saying Mike Mac. Sorry. You don't have to put with any hate. Just ban them. Yeah, I know. It's just the negative stuff. Sometimes people almost give you the impression I'm charging them to watch me and that they're expecting to get good trades out of me. But I'm just learning like a lot of you guys. I'm just literally coming up 2 years in. But I'm at the level where I know what a good trade is and I know what a good setup is, but I've still got those demons, as Marco calls them. He said to me and a couple of the others a couple of weeks ago, your trading is good. Your chart trade reading is good. You're clearly getting to the stage that you know what's what. But obviously the emotions get the better of you and the patience, but that comes with time. I watched that live chat that the Gorilla Trader did last night. And he mentioned it took him about 3 years before he started making money. So I'm a year off him, really. I throw away so many profits just reading bad options. Yeah, we all do it. The trouble is, when you live stream, you do expose yourself. And I wanted to pick other people to see what it was like that feel the same as me. Because sometimes it looks so rosy trading. A lot of traders post their charts, but they'll never ever post a loss. And you start to think, well, why am I taking losses and others aren't? So that's the thing with streaming. It is what it is, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Respect the PPR's options, yeah. But I'm slowly getting there. For me, it feels like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back. Sometimes you have these moments of clarity and everything. You feel really in tune with the market and everything works smoothly and the setups are nice and you take the right. And then you get other days where, I don't know, something just doesn't feel right. Just have to turn off the stream. Yeah, but I know people spend the time to sit and watch me, so I don't want to. And to be fair, 99% of you guys that I chat to daily, it's never an issue. You are making money, lads, but sometimes personally believe you use emotions too much. Well, I think, bud, that's the frustrating thing about trading is that it's one of those unusual emotional businesses, but I think in a sense I'm, for want of a better word, giving a shit less and less. In other words, I'm trying not to let the losses bother me so much. Because if you're really worried constantly about losing, those strong emotions can be there. So I'm trying to just go with the flow and not think about the money and just take a trade. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I can't turn the clocks back. I can just, try and learn from it. But I listened to that gorilla guy last night, and he said you need to maybe not expect something. So, if you take a trade, you're expecting to win. If you don't expect to win, you just, in other words, take it as a trade and then forget about it and move on. Things will change. But, you know the battle. You all know where I'm coming from. Just got some messages here. But I talk to a lot of you guys on Facebook, on Messenger, regularly. We all talk. I was chatting with Nicholas yesterday, and I'm going to have a chat with him on Friday. I think he's been where sort of I am. We've got some news now, haven't we? Bloody hell, have I been chatting for 30 minutes? Yeah, he was where I am, and I think he's been sort of, been through the same sort of thing, and he thinks maybe a chat sometimes a chat, maybe a few words can sort of maybe sort you out a little bit, or maybe strike a chord. So what I'm not going to do now is, when this market's going down, just going to jump straight in like I did yesterday. Stay with max 1 point, but your profit target losses are going to be part of it. Yeah. The trouble is, in all honesty, when I looked at Daniel's charts going back 2 weeks, when I decided to go from 1 point to 2 weeks, I think he'd marked 36 trades, and every single one of them made 2 points or more. And that's what got me from 1 point to 2 point. And then when I'm watching people like Taylor and the gorilla guy, more and more people are going for 1-to-1 plus, and the penguin guy as well. So some trades you are going to lose. But if you're averaging 3 points or 3.5 points compared to someone's 1 point, you're going to obviously be able to afford to lose a few more. So anyway, I've had me rant. I feel a bit better now. When you get Apex Performance account, do you still have a monthly fee? You've got the option, mate. You can either pay $85 a month, or you can pay a one-off fee of $140, and that is it. So it's down to you, really. If you think you're going to, if you've blown PAs before and you think, it might not be plain sailing, you may be better off paying the monthly. So yeah, it's up to you, really. It's up to you. I want to make the move up mentally. I can't do it yet. It's tough, but I did read somewhere, and somebody said something to me. It's almost like a forging process. So you go from being careless and making stupid decisions. The more you do it, the more it forces that brain to change. That's how I've heard it described before. Someone mentioned it in a comment to me the other week on Facebook. Said it's almost like a forging you get forged into doing it, because those emotions, you can't just flick a switch. Now, the way I've described it before, let's say, for instance, you're in a marriage or a relationship, and your wife turns up one day and says, "That's it, we're finished, I've met someone else." Straight away, you're going to be bombarded by masses of emotions. Now, how do you deal with that? Well, the only really way you deal with it is time. You're exposed to those emotions from the minute your wife comes out with it and says, "That's it, I'm done with you." And the emotions are there, and there's not really much you can do with it, but deal with them. Your mates might say, "Oh, come out and have a drink. Let's have a few beers. Find someone else. Don't worry about it." Easier said than done. And the only way you deal with those emotions is time. In other words, exposing yourself to them. I don't know whether this is right or not. I'm just drawing it. Exposing yourself to those emotions. For a period of time, you start to get used to them. And once you get used to them, you're able to manage them. And that's the way I see it. But I am better than I was taking a trade and taking a loss used to make me feel almost dizzy. I could feel my heart pounding, my neck would be that stiff. Those emotions were powerful, but they're not as much now. Whereas I used to go on complete tilt. I used to start hitting the buy and sell. If that was going up, I'd just hit buy 5 times and go in with 10 contracts. So I used to go crazy, but I don't do that now. So I definitely feel an improvement. Risk-reward ratio is the only important criteria. Every trade, a random event. Absolutely, I agree with that. Like what's it trader, the Gorilla Trader says, it's not how many trades you win or lose. Like you say, it's not your win to reward ratio. It's how many points you make when you win a trade. So, you know, if I watched one of his videos and he lost 2 trades in a row. So he was down 6 points. And on his third trade, he took a 12-point runner. So he was up 6. So, you know, so I'm slowly getting used to going for more and more points. I tend to go for the 3.5 to 4 points, and then I'll jam me stopping. And then if it does start to go further, then I'll just follow it down. And occasionally, you know, you might get a bit lucky. So it's what it is. I'm worried by how little I care, winning or losing. Well, that sounds to me like a good thing, mate. In other words, if you're focusing more on the process and the outcome is bothering you less and less, I'd say that's probably a good thing. Jonathan, yeah. But I do feel it's affected me less and less compared to how it did 12 months ago. 12 months ago, I'd just go crazy. I even lost my temper once and punched. I used to have 4 monitors. I punched one of them 3 times and threw it out the window. And when I went down to get it later on, the corner of it stuck in the ground. It was like a frisbee embedded in the ground. So that's how I used to react. I used to get that frustrated and angry. My neck used to feel like it was in a vice. My heart was pounding. I almost feel dizzy. My hair is standing out. And that's what losses used to do to me. But it doesn't so much now. So my mind is slowly getting used to feeling uncomfortable, and it's not dealing with it as bad as it used to, but it does take time. Flipping a coin and getting 3 consecutive fails is not statistically unusual. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can take trades. I mean, I know the Gorilla guy takes riskier trades. See, possible second entry long there, but it's quite congested there and the sensible thing to do. See, it depends how averse you are to big risk. If you're a bit of a risk taker, then you may take something a bit more risky. And obviously, if you're aiming for 5 or 6 points or more, and you're risking maybe 3 points, then same again, you may take something a bit more risky. But obviously, that trade I took where I just jumped in the market, that was a moment of madness, which we've all had. We've all been stupid, and we all do stupid stuff. Hey up, Jimmy. Oh, God. Yeah, see, I've had a chat with Jimmy outside before, and he's had the same problems as me. But sometimes it's nice to have a chat with someone else who's going through the same thing, because it makes you feel a bit better, and we all need a bit of a lift sometimes, because this trading business can be a bit soul-destroying from time to time. And I was chatting with Jimmy probably about a month and a half ago, and he'd had the same problems. He was going for a bit of a tough time, and I said, don't worry about it. You'll get there. It is tough. It's meant to be tough. Have a bit of a break. But we all need that little bit of a lift sometimes, and it's the way I see it. We're all in the same business here. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same club. And sometimes when we're having it tough, you just need a bit of a pick me up. A couple of good solid words, and some good positive stuff, and it helps. Watched a few of Tom Hoggard, Trader Tom stuff. Big eye opener, Trader Tom, I've heard that. Let me just take a quick photo of that comment and I'll have a look later. Anything that's positive or I hear something. Cheers, Jimmy. Quick snap of that, I'll have a look later. But trade is not meant to be. As if it was easy, we'd all be doing it, making a fortune. But I kind of like the fact that it isn't, because when I can do it successfully, it's a massive sense of achievement. And I love a challenge. I love it when someone says you can't do something. Wow, don't drive me. I'm like a bull in a china shop, I am. When someone says, how are you going to do that? You'll never do that. That's the worst thing to say to me. I know one of my family members, I won't mention who, not they won't watch this anyway, but sort of, what's happening now? There's some more news, isn't there? Is he still speaking? Is he, pal? I think he must be. But someone, you know, sort of hinted, well, how can you do that? You know, you're not a finance guy. You haven't left school with degrees coming out your arse. And, you know, when someone says that, and I'm thinking, I can't wait to pull up outside your house in a Range Rover and throwing £20 notes out the window. I'm just in the middle of reading that book now, Jimmy. I've got an audio book on my Amazon Audible. I listened to a bit the night before last. I've forgotten about it actually, but I'll check it again tonight. But he's also got a few videos, that guy has, and I watched a couple of those. But it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy. And I'm kind of all right with that. But you know, I'm one of those ones that doesn't get deterred easy by failure. Don't ask me why. I think I'm just lucky. Plus 2.25 points. Is that about right? Let me have a look. Yeah. But I can understand why people give this business up, because it can be soul destroying. But I don't know. Some people get it early. Some people need a little bit of it's supposed to go there, really, isn't it? But some people need. The way I see it, I'm one of those stubborn people. Sometimes I need to bang my head against the wall quite a few times before I realise it hurts. So, okay. So we had that bit of negative news, and it's recovered fully. So one leg. There's two legs up there. There's also a possible second entry short. Do I want a short from there? It's certainly a place to short from, but we have had an overshoot here, so I need to be aware that we may get something the other side. Whether we will or not, I don't know, because we have had a perfect measured move. So we may come back down. I've always compared trading to competitive video gaming, and the percentage of let's see, a similar. Yeah, I'm not a gamer really. I've tried it, but I get bored. Okay, so that wasn't a brilliant setup, but it did come down, and the measured move, let me just get that correct, had played out almost to the tick. Well, yeah, one tick off. So one leg up, other side was two legs up. As we know, market likes to move in twos. We've also had two separate measured legs. See, I think my chart reading's okay. It's my patience and the emotional side I need to work on. Okay, so we've had a push down and a lower high. Trouble is, it's finished a bit above, and because we've had this overshoot, there's a possibility we could possibly push a bit higher. I don't know, but while I've got my patience, I'd rather listen to it. Where is it? 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 There we go. No. There we go. Okay, did anybody know that's been extended for another 2 weeks at 80% off? I had a few people use that code yesterday, and it's much appreciated. What I get from that in a month covers my trading costs, so that's a good thing. One leg down, short-term trend channel break, new low. That, I think, is a good place to go down to the EMA. But I would say only the EMA. My plans go a bit lower than that. So, short-term trend channel break. I'm expecting a new low, so you may get a couple of points out of that if you've taken that one. And 2 points is, oh, you've easily got 2 points. Okay. I often hear people say TA is the best part. Execute the charts at trade. Yeah, I agree, mate. One leg, two legs. So I don't think that was a bad trade. I did look at it, but I'd say there's quite likely two legs down there, or gonna be. Yeah,
Connection lost.
Going to make two legs, one leg, two legs. So yeah, short-term trend channel break, new low. It was only a first entry, but I did expect another leg down there. How much have you spent on Apex? How much? I'd rather not say, but just in case my wife's. But I would say probably somewhere in the region of $4,000, between 4 and 5 grand, somewhere around there. But I did have $2,000, and I do well at this, to be fair. That so far has given me about $600 to $700 a month from that. So that is more than covering my costs. There we go. That one's clearly. So I would say somewhere, because most of my trades, most of my evaluations have been around the $33. And I've taken probably about 110 all in all with everything. That's with the PAs and maybe, that's with the PAs and a couple of others. So if we probably say, I don't know, an average of $50. So yeah, maybe somewhere in the region of $5,000, something like that. But I've got about let's say 3,000 of that back. So it's not as bad as it sounds, but the good thing is with that, it enables me to be able to trade. So that's why I appreciate you guys using that. It doesn't cost. I trade full time, Bill, but I work Saturday and Sunday. I changed my job. I now drive HCVs. Reason being, because I can earn £25 UK an hour, which is nearly $30 an hour, and I can do 12 to 15 hours on a Saturday and Sunday. And that enables me to, with what I make from that, it's about $600-700 a month. That enables me to trade Monday to Friday. And I'm quite obsessive about me trading, and if I take on a challenge, I dive in head first, which is why I trade 5 days a week now. Hopefully it will get me to where I want to be, maybe a bit quicker. Yeah, I'd say I probably spent somewhere in the region of about 5 grand, something like that. I would say 80% of my trades, well, 70-80% of them, when we have the $33, so it might even be a bit more than 5,000. Let's say 5,500. Well, I've got probably 2,500 back, so I'm probably still down 2,500. But to be honest with you, when you can trade well and you've got a couple of accounts, you get one $2,000 payment from 2 or 3 accounts, and you've more than got your money back. So it doesn't take long to get your money back. Now, I built myself a computer. Got 4 screens. I've got 3 now. 1 got punched. New desk. Another graphics card. So I probably spent £1,600 maybe on a computer and other bits and pieces, and £1,000 for the Ninja Trader license and max fees and a few other bits and pieces. So I suppose I've spent somewhere in the region of about 10 grand. Something like that, which actually is not that much compared to, I know people who've spent way more than that. But I've got about 2,500 of it back, so I got 150k past that. Let me say that again. I spent about $5,000 too, but I got 150,000 pass, and I've had pays out 11 grand. Good for you, mate. What's your name? Harjit? Harjit, is that right? I hope I got that right. Good for you. I love hearing people doing well. Because if you've done well in this business, you've done well because you've worked hard. And I got a lot of respect for people who work hard, because I know how hard this business is. So if you've got your money back and made some good money, I take my hat off to you, mate. I really do, because I know how difficult it is and how much hard work and time it takes. So good for you. Yeah, but the thing is, Jonathan, it's an investment in your future. So sometimes it takes more, sometimes it takes less. The more money you've got, the more money you'll probably throw at it. But I'm not loaded, so. But no, I believe I'm one of these believers that you can there's nothing you can't do as long as it's physically possible. And I believe I make progress from time to time. But as I said earlier, I think it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Computer mice rather than the rodents. Yeah, I punched one of my screens once. I was doing well, actually. And I took something stupid and ended up moving me stock, blowing me account. And I just lashed out quickly, grabbed hold of it, ripped it off the stand and threw it out the window. But that's the beauty of having 4 screens. I've got 2 more spare. I've got 3 screens now, so I've still got 2 spares. But I only did it the once. But I was just that frustrated and angry with myself. But I do listen to. I watch videos all the time of other traders. I watch Max, not as much as I used to, but I constantly read, I constantly study, and you've got to put a lot of time in. And since I started trading, my whole life's changed. I've invested so much of myself into it. Everything's about trading. My whole life's about trading. It's always at the forefront of my mind. I'm always learning, always processing. The trouble is I'm a bit stubborn sometimes, so I do stupid stuff probably a little bit more than I should before I finally get to it. But I have improved. My psychology's improved. It doesn't stress me as much when I'm in a trade, nowhere near what it used to be. I wish I was in the UK to see that. I threw it out the bedroom window and it's stuck in the corner, stuck in the grass. But yeah, we do stupid things, don't we? But oh well, there's nothing you can do about it, isn't it? We do it, don't we? But I know people who've thrown a lot more. I know someone who's thrown 30,000 at it and who's still struggling. I know people who've spent a lot of money. But at the end of the day, let's say, for instance, you can get to having 5 Apex accounts and you take $2,000 from each, which is not a lot of money. You could more or less get that money back in 1 month, when you get to where you want to be. And as I said earlier, I'm a believer in you can do anything you want in this life. You've just got to be prepared to put in the hard work. And I'm absolutely, you threw my laptop in the bin once. I haven't done that yet. I've got very close to doing stuff like that, but I built a desktop unit. I did. I also like a challenge. I'd never built a PC before, but I built it. Put Windows onto a flash drive, plugged it all in, put it together. It worked first time. I was flipping shocked. I'm not the best DIYer, but no, I built one. I wanted a certain spec, something that was going to last. And it was enjoyable to do one, actually. I really enjoyed it. I would say that fits okay there. We got a touch there. We got a touch there. We got 2 touches there. I've slightly widened it. So we've got a short-term trend. We've got a break. Bit of an overshoot. That could result in a bit of we could come up, break, come back down and retest this, or we could push up. We're clearly ranging at the moment. We've had our news. I'm assuming, is Powell still speaking? I don't know. There is some medium impact news, but that's not till 6 tonight. UK time. I'm usually done by then. Where do you want to be, if you don't mind me asking? My ultimate goal, if you ask me how much would I love to earn in a month, and I would say I've made it, I'd say $20,000. So my ultimate goal is to get 10 accounts and just take the minimum out of each account, $2,000. Now, if I could earn, I always said I believed I'd made it when I hit 6 figures, which is £100,000 pounds a month, which is about a year, which is about $120,000, which is only £10,000 a month, which is not a huge amount. You can easily earn that money in trading. It's not easy to get there. It does take time, but you can absolutely earn that. Even if you have 5 accounts and you withdraw $2,000 from each of that account, which is not a lot, it's the minimum, the bare minimum, you've hit 6 figures. So if you ask me, 6 figures was my big target. I can say I'm really happy, but I would love to be able to earn the equivalent of $20,000 a month. If you ask me what I would love, because if you can earn $20,000 a month, you can clearly earn more. It's just a matter of scaling up. But it takes time. If by the end of this year, I can have 5 accounts and withdraw $2,000 from each account, $10,000, I will be the happiest bloke alive. Having a toddler in the background doesn't help. Been there, done that, mate. I got a 14-year-old, although to be fair, she screams a lot louder than she used to now. I would say that is probably like that. Okay, so we've had a break and a new high and a push down. Now we're clearly ranging at the moment, so this is our maybe we can push that up a bit. I don't know. Let me have a look. Yeah, I think that's probably a better option. Touch in there, touch in there, touch in there. That's probably about right. So we've had a break, a new high, and we've tried to go up once again. So if we can push down below here and a failure, then I'm quite happy to think we're going lower again. I literally can't trade in this. You missed a word there, a letter there, mate. Sped. What is it? $4,000 a day is 1 million. I know, it's lovely, isn't it? Well, look at that guy at Apex. He made a video. He withdrew $800,000 one month, and he described himself was of the king of resets. So that is tempting to go short there as a failure, but there isn't much room back to the EMA, and it is a little bit sideways. So I'm going to use my patience and leave that alone for now, because I have had a trade this morning and I'm $225 up minus fees, so I'm quite happy with that. And when I do get in the green, I tend to take less stupid stuff. So we've had this short-term trend channel, we've had a break, or trend channel, we've had a break and a new high. Trying to go once, trying to go twice, failure. Yeah, that's technically a break and we've had a new high, but even if you say that's not, we've had a new high anyway, so that's why trading is made in the upside potential, but also the losses. Absolutely, yeah, you're going to lose money. You can't learn this business without losing money. That's fact. But the way I see it, I rarely go out. I don't drink much. I don't smoke. I don't have any expensive hobbies. I don't do a great deal. So I would say my spare money, what I've got left, maybe goes into trading, because my belief is that I'm trying to build a better life for myself and my family. Can you do it with trading? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. But it's not easy, and it is going to take time and effort and commitment and hard work and frustration and yeah, money. And I haven't got a lot of money, but I just put it in when I can. But fortunately, since I've started streaming, what I get from these evaluations cover my trading costs. So that's a good thing. So that's why I'm able to keep doing these, because I do think the evaluations serve a purpose, because they constantly apply that pressure, and you have to have, in my opinion, you have to be exposed to that uncomfortable feeling, which you can only get from risk. And the more you're exposed to that, I believe you get used to it. So that failure did work. But we ain't got a lot of room to the EMA and the open. So, and it's a little bit sideways. So I thought maybe I'll leave that one, although you got a few points out of it, but I'm quite happy leaving it. 4K per day is what? Yeah, but I mean, you don't need to earn a lot of money a day. I mean, even if you earned $500 a day, yeah, which is easily doable. $500 a day, that's $2,500 a week. On a calendar month, that's over $10,000. So, yeah, I mean, the $10,000 a month is a decent wage. That's well into six figures. You know, so if you think about it, if you like that $225 now, if I've got 10 accounts and I've taken one 2.25 point trade, and if I do that one small trade every day, and you'll always find one good trade and get 2 points. Let's say you get 2 points, $200, and you got 10 accounts. That's $2,000 per day. That's $10,000. That's $40,000 a month. And all you're really doing is trading one account. The rest are just copied with those other ones. So if you can get to the stage where you're not blowing an account and you can manage to build an account, one trade. If you take, let's say for instance, you take one trade, 2 points, $200 on average, you'll easily average that. The potential for earning good money is absolutely there. It absolutely is. And I know that and I'm aware of that. But at the moment, I'm getting to the stage where I think I'm best off forgetting about the money and just trying to get the accounts built nice and steadily and healthily. And when I first started trading currency about 2.5 years ago, Andrew Lockwood, who was a seasoned trader, he traded in the trading pits in London at the London Stock Exchange for years, very experienced trader. I had a phone conversation with him and he told me, focus on the trades and the money will follow, I guarantee it. And I think I've been a little bit too focused on the money lately, which is, it happens. Minus the monthly fee of 145 times 20. No, Sam. That's a one-off fee, mate. A one-off fee of it's $140. That's a one-off fee. That is it. You can pay monthly $85, but you can also pay a one-off fee of $140, and that is it, mate. You don't pay that every month. That's a one-off fee per account. So if you can build 10 accounts, if you look at Wilson at the moment, he's got 17 accounts. Now, you wait while he withdraws $2,000 out of each of those accounts. $2,000 times 17, that's $34,000. And all he's got to do on each account, well, focus on one account and make $2,000 per month, which he'll easily do that. Yeah, Sam, it is just, you've got two options. You can pay $85 or $80 or $85 per month, or you can have a one-off fee of $140. That's based on the $50,000 account, and that is it, mate. For the life of it, that's all you pay. Granted, when you get above $25,000 on each account, you'll pay 10%, but that's still a small amount to pay. So, you know, I've got two accounts now. If I can get them into the green on a P account and build them up, and I can earn $2,000 off each account, then next month maybe I'll get 3 more accounts. And if I can build them up, and if I can get 5 accounts and take $2,000 out of each account, that's $10,000 a month. That is the potential. What do I choose? I think the better option for me is the $140, because when I had my first PA account, I went for 2.5 months and I paid two lots of $85. So you've only got to trade for 2 months and you've only got to trade for a month. You pay your 85 first. Once you pay your second 85 a month later, you've actually paid more than the 140. So for me, that's a better option. I don't know whether that's valid or not. I'll just give it a try. It might be. The trouble is the less steep. Is that a word? Less steep? I don't know if it's the less steep the trend. I think it is. The less steep the trend, the less reliable it is. But that leg's moved up. Let's see if we're going to make 2 legs up here. Because for me, that looks like one leg. Let's see if this makes two legs. I think there's a possibility it may. We've had an overshoot here. And we've pushed back in and we've come back down the bottom. Sometimes you'll get the same here, but we haven't. So this to me looks like we may be moving up. But I say may because it may. Let's have a look. Still early days yet. We've only really touched that twice, so I'd expect to touch it a third time before I start focusing on trading for longs. But this may just be a fact. Probably even take that up a bit more. Yeah, this may just be a bit of a breakout. Hate price action around this 4,000 area. Yeah, Jimmy, it does. But what I'm going to do is when I go onto a PA account, two PAs, I'm going to trade one at one contract and one at two. So I'm doing my new normal two contracts, but I am going to reduce one as well just to give me that extra comfort feeling, shall we say. And then the plan is when I can get it up above 5,000, then I may move the single contract up to two contracts. We'll see. I'll play it by ear, but I'll play it by ear. But I'm trying to focus not so much on the money and more just on building the health of the account. Yeah, it's not very clear to me what that is. But yeah, I had a few of these yesterday. I had quite a few of them. I had about $60 worth of these yesterday. So if you use that code yesterday, much as grassy as love. Yeah, it's much appreciated. It enables me to trade without having to, well, it enables me to trade full time, really. That covers my trading, plus gives me a few $100 extra on my work Saturday, Sundays, long hours. I did a 40.5 hours on a Saturday and a short on a Sunday. So that gives me an income enough with my wife's wage to be relatively comfortable, and it enables me to trade full time. Because obviously, if you can trade full time, you're likely to get to where you want to be a bit quicker. See, I'm a bit luckier than you guys in the US. Normal market hours is your normal day for you guys, so it's a bit harder for you guys to trade. Whereas even if I was working a 9 to 5 here, general market open is 2:30 in the UK, so I could come home at 5 o'clock tea time and there's still a few hours left in the market to continue to trade, to get experience. So we're a bit lucky in the UK. We have the obviously ability to spend a little bit more time trading and learning. Let's just quit my farm. Are you going to be a pharmacist with you? Good for you, mate. Oh, I'm trying to imagine you in your white coat. Pharmacist. See, I was a chef initially when I left school. I went to college. I always enjoyed food. And when I left school, I went to college for 2 years and became a chef and did that for about 12 years, worked in various hotels and restaurants. But then I just did a bunch of different jobs. I was a bricklayer for quite a few years. But the beauty about being a HGV driver in the UK is there's a massive shortage. The money's great, and you can pick and choose your hours. And, you know, I can get £25 to £30 an hour on a weekend, which is, you know, sort of 28 to 30, 33, $35. So I can earn really good money, and I can pick and choose my hours. I can do as many hours as I want Saturday, Sunday. So that's what I tend to do. And obviously I make, as you know, a little bit on this, which covers my trading. And it enables me then to trade full time. There's nothing nicer than not having to go out on freezing cold mornings in the UK. We've got snow outside at the moment. It's not sticking at the moment. It's just coming down a little bit, but nothing worse about having to go out on freezing cold mornings when it's dark. I've always hated that, to be honest with you. A couple of odd jobs out of school and decided to dedicate myself to this. Good for you, Jonathan. If you dedicate this to yourself, and you're prepared to keep trying and learning and putting the hours, I believe you'll get your rewards in time, whether it takes 2 years or 4 years or 5 years. But obviously the more hours and time you can put in, the more study time and practice time, the sooner you'll get there. But it's been snowing all day. Where are you from, Bill? Bill, where are you? I'm sure you're US, Bill, aren't you? What kind of... I drive an articulated vehicle, so like a cavalry trailer. And the beauty about that is there's a massive shortage in the UK. I mean, you can literally jump into work. I could get you in work tomorrow if you wanted to, and it's good money at the moment. And that's the beauty. It enables me to do what I want to do. I was tempted to take that. I kind of wish I had done it, because we've had a failed breakout and a lower high below the EMA. In fact,
Order filled.
I'm going to take that. The quickest way to get into it was just to hit the sell button, but for me, that's a lower high. So it's quite congested here, so I might not come. Yeah, that's a failed breakout. We've had one here, we've had one there. So it's also a second entry long, which is triggered. So hopefully we may trap some shorts here, some long traders here. But we'd had a short-term trend channel break, 2 pushes up to a new high, short-term trend channel break. This is a failure as well, so that broke below. I was chatting and wasn't watching, which is why I just randomly jumped in quickly. But luckily, I got in 2 ticks early. So let's see where this is likely to go. There is a lot of congestion around here, so I may... There's a failure there as well, which I'm not going to take. Push down. Let's see what we can do anyway. Ah, you're from the UK. I got... Whereabouts, Bill? Whereabouts you from? That has... Once we can get below here, I think we're okay there. So, oh, what's going on here? Is he... Is Powell still speaking, is he? I might try and get out of here. It's getting a bit volatile now.
Stop filled.
Okay, what did I get there? 2.7 points. There's a bit of congestion. It's getting a little bit volatile there, so I'm not sure whether Powell's... Oh, you from the Midlands, are you? Oh, I'm not far. I'm West Midlands. Shropshire, I am, bud. Shropshire. Okay, so second entry long. I wasn't watching what I was doing there. Luckily, I got in. Sometimes the quickest way in is just to hit the sell button. And I got in 2 ticks below. And oh, you're from London, are you? Ah, we're getting a few UKers in. Good. Okay. In fact, actually, there's a trend there. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. So let's have a look at the moment. We're in a clearly ranging at the moment, but we had this overshoot and I think it sort of compensated it for there, but that's clearly a breakout. So we've got a short-term trend channel here. There. Which just had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, come down quite nicely, and we've got a lower high, which is closed beautifully right below the EMA. EMA is pointing down. Now, I was chatting and wasn't focusing on that, which is why rather than right click and drag it down, I just hit the sell button. Fortunately, I got in 3 ticks back, so my risk was a bit less. There is a little bit of... This is a short-term trend channel break. Then there was a failure, which obviously worked as well. Yeah, me too. Oh, you're Shropshire as well. Whereabouts? Shrewsbury, I am. Where are you, Bill? Shrewsbury, I am. Bloody hell, it's a small world, isn't it? Please don't tell me you're in Shrewsbury, are you? If you're in Shrewsbury, mate, then you're a stalker. Okay, so we're up nice $500, so that's a nice start. So, we're 2/3 of the way there, just nearly. Wow. Okay, so yeah, that was quite a nice trend. That we had short-term trend chart break. I got to get better at pulling partials on this. I did think about staying there a bit longer, but there's a bit of congestion here and it started getting a bit volatile, and then I just wondered whether Powell's still talking or not. So I thought that was a good trade, that anyway. So, but unfortunately I was chatting and wasn't focused. Then I just noticed that it closed below the EMA, which is why I just quickly hit the sell button. Sometimes it's the quickest way in, and it worked because I ended up 2 ticks further back. So I lowered my risk a bit. So that was 3.75 points. And I got in about 2 ticks. 2 ticks back. So 2 ticks back. So about 3.25. 1 tick above, about 3.5 points, I think. 3.25 points. Got stopped out at break even on that trade, did you? Yeah, I got 2.7. I had 2.25, 2.75, 2.75 points. I normally go for a bit more than that, but there's quite a bit of congestion here, and you just don't know sometimes whether this breakout is going to come back, bounce here, and then push a bit higher, because I did think there was a possibility of it moving higher, although it hasn't been confirmed yet, so I can't. I've got to still be thinking about shorts up here at the moment. So that was plus 2.75 points. Okay, so $500 up minus fees. So far so good. Yeah, it has gone a bit. That was nice. So short-term trend channel break, 2 pushes up to a new high, came back down nicely, pushed below the EMA, came back up, and then rejected right the way down. So to me, that lower high was worth taking below the EMA, and it worked. Then there was also a second entry long, which triggered, and then we had a failure, which was another good trade, I think. Take out any possible longs there. Judging by how it came down, not a tremendous amount, but if you'd have taken that failure, you'd have got 3.25, 3.5 points comfortably there. So I could have sat in a bit longer, but there's a lot of congestion around here, and it shows by going a little bit sideways there. You would go long last week. Was that, nice trade short in there, thank you. You would go long last week. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Not sure what you mean. Bill, sort of a malpus. Oh, yeah. Ah, I got you, Whitchurch, yeah. I know Whitchurch well. I used to go to the parachute centre at Whitchurch as a young lad. Tilstock Parachute Centre. I used to go there. I used to do a little bit of skydiving in my younger days. And I used to go into Whitchurch a lot, to the Doddington Lodge, the hotel there, get paralytic of a night time, and then go jump out of a plane the following morning. Ah, yeah, it's a small world. Small world. I know there's some UK traders. I know Jimmy. I think Jimmy's in Kent at the moment, originally from, I think you're from the north, aren't you, Jimmy? Or you're from the south, I think, of Ireland. I can't remember now. So we've got Jane. Jane's in Edgbaston, I think. There's another. Who's it? Hargett, yeah, London. There's quite a few actually from the UK. Thanks, Nicholas. Nice to see me take a nice trade, isn't it? Finally. Unfortunately, I was chatting, not focusing. Now, that's why I hit the sell button. I don't tend to do that much, but sometimes it finished that bearish. I just thought I've got to get in as quick as I can. The quickest way to get in is to do that. B, you're from North. Ah, right. Yep, we've chatted before. But you live in Canada. Mental. It must be freezing out there now. If we've got snow, I'm guessing you definitely have. So maybe that may turn into a bigger one, possibly. So yeah, lower high, Finished nicely, one tick off its low, nice and bearish. I mean, it pushed below the EMA. Buyers came in, sellers rejected that nice and strongly, and then when you get a big rejection like that, for me, that was a good trade. What made it even more interesting was there was a second entry long there, which triggered, but it triggered. It's below the EMA, so then obviously there was. I considered getting into the failure actually, but sometimes it's just a bit safer to just take the one for now. You know, things are going a bit sideways. It started bouncing a little bit, and that concerned me, which is why I came out a little bit lower than I would have normally done. I tend to like to get to 3 points, 3.5 points, and then jam me stopping, and then if it goes down, and I get a bit lucky, happy days. So let's have a look. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick. What's going on here? Is Powell still speaking? Does anybody know? I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break and make myself a quick cup of coffee. Where did you get your strategy from? The self-made? No, it wasn't built. And I'm going to give you an absolute diamond here, mate. If you want to learn a great strategy that works beautifully and costs you hardly anything, it's called priceactiontradingsystem.com. And the guy that runs it is called Mac, and it cost $125 for a year. You just cannot beat that. I have looked at, over the last 2.5 years since I started trading, I've looked at so many different trading courses, and you just will not find nothing. And that's what we're trading here, Mac's Price Action Trading System. So if you Google priceactiontradingsystem.com, you'll see his course there, and it's $125 for a year. There's dozens and dozens of videos there, all sorts of bits and pieces on there, but you won't find one. Oh no, he's done. You won't find one cheaper than that, Bill. So if you want to learn to trade, that's one. The one I would 100% recommend. I did it for a year and finished last June, and I decided to refresh some of my stuff, and I decided to sign up again. So I did again a few more months ago. But it's an absolute bargain, $125. And this strategy works really well. High probability trades can work 95% of the time and more in some cases, if you're good at it. Yes, if I'd have stayed in that, I could have got 10 points out of that. And my confidence level isn't fantastic at the moment. So, which is why I came out. So, yeah, you got 10 points out of that. And I would say it's certainly going to come down to here, but quite likely the bottom. So it depends how you may see if you. Depends how confident you are. But my confidence level from yesterday is a bit iffy at the moment. But as your confidence level improves, then you may bring it down to here, then you may take it down to there, then you may take your stop down to here and just generally follow it down. But I'll tell you something for now. That gorilla guy will be in that 100%, and he will be trying to ride that right down the bottom. Okay, I'm just checking my chart here. Where was I? Okay, I'm just gonna have a quick. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. I've been watching big US futures traders like and trades by Matt. Yeah, I got you. The thing I like about this is you trade one chart, one time frame. That's it. And that's what I like about it. It's just one chart. I started with currency, and you've got multiple charts, multiple time frames, multiple currency pairs. You just got charts coming out your ears, and it's just you spend half your time looking for stuff rather than sitting. You know what I mean? Gorilla guy, 100% trades patterns. Yeah, he does. The difference with him is he swings for a lot more. He swings the whole amount, and I'll tell you something. He'll be in that. I'd say his stop will probably be here. I'm not sure, maybe not, but he would try and ride that down to the bottom. So, yeah, sorry, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make myself a cup of coffee, and I'll be back with you in about 5 minutes. Okay. What did I miss? Where do you buy pads from? Pads. Off, you know. I will show you. Oh, no, that's not it. That's it there. So priceactiontradingsystem.com. That's me there. And membership is I can't find any of it. It's $125 for the year, which is brilliant. There's all sorts of stuff on here. If I quickly log into my account, market's not doing much at the moment. There's all sorts of stuff on here, to be honest with you. I can't recommend it enough. There's all sorts of different things, bits of tools, all sorts of things. News, there's the news thing there. All sorts of stuff. And where's the video lessons as well. All sorts of, where are they? They're not loaded at the moment, but oh, we are. Premium. There we go. There's all sorts of this. There's dozens and dozens of videos explaining everything. I won't show you like that. There's dozens of videos explaining how to draw trends, short-term trend channels, measured legs, second entries, failures, lower highs, high lows, how to draw, all sorts of stuff. Really good stuff. So I absolutely recommend Mac. 100%. You won't find I've never seen a course for $125. I really haven't. And it's a great system. It really is. You see me messing around sometimes and losing trades. That's because I'm not following the price action properly and the emotions are getting me. But when it does work, I mean, you see me take a couple of trades there. It's $500 there, see? So, you know, short-term trend channel, we had a break. I thought it was a failure, actually. I didn't realise, I didn't see that. I thought that was a failure, but it worked anyway. And this one as well. So, you know, I really like Mac. It is a real deal, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there, Douglas. I think a lot of the trades he shows are, considering it's aimed at novice and newer traders, and he does go on so much about you need to take that 2 to 3 trades a day maximum of the best trades. I think marking lots of trades and slightly more risky, maybe more advanced ones are probably do more harm than good. But what he's done for trading and how little he charges, I think is brilliant. And he's a nice chap as well. I've messaged him a few times and had some nice answers, and he's always friendly, always polite. And he does that. If you look on his YouTube channel, he's got videos well over 2,000 going back about 12 years. So he's done a lot, actually. He's helped a lot of traders, and for not a lot of money as well. It's so cheap, that is. A little bit of congestion around here. The accent caught me off. Yeah, he's the US and he's from the South, so he's yeah, he does sound like Dolly Parton's dad. Put it that way. It sounds even more weird to me. Obviously, I'm from the UK, but from you guys, most of you US guys, I suppose it still sounds a bit weird to you guys, wasn't it? I think. Ooh. But yeah, he's a nice guy. very calm, level-headed, and I think his course, what you get, I mean, all these tools you get this news information which tells you what news we're expecting. There's all sorts of bits of stuff, but loads of videos explaining everything, loads of them. So for even if you do it for a year, $125, that's peanuts, that is. I've never seen a trading course that cheap. Nowhere near that cheap. If you look at who's the two guys that stole his idea, sort of repackaged it, they were charging 3 times the price. I forget the two names, Riley Coleman and you know the one. They sort of repackaged it and sold it as theirs, and they charged 3 times the price. Okay, so that as it's a couple of 3 ticks off that measured leg, so 1 leg down, 2 leg down. So let me just zoom out. I did think there may be some form of possible uptrend forming there, but maybe it is. Maybe. Okay. Okay. So maybe I'm changing my school of thought. See, what I'm seeing at the moment, we've had this breakout, and look out, we've come back to about 2/3, well, just below halfway. Well, there's the midline, isn't it? So this now seems to me like maybe we start to move up. Michael Chin, there you go, yeah. Michael Chinny Chin Chin, yeah. In fact, he's the one that got me looking at this style of trading. I was trading currency with charts all over the place when I saw him doing it, and I liked the bit that sort of struck a chord with me, that it was in and out, quite fast moving. I'm quite, as you know, I'm quite a wired person. I work quick, I talk quick. That's just how I am. And, you know, sitting here taking a swing trade over the next 3 or 4 days just puts me to sleep. And I kind of like the fact that it's quite fast moving and you're in and you're out quick and you just trade in one chart, and that's what struck a chord. And I did look at this, and I did read that, you know, some people just, you know, move towards a certain style of trading depending on their personality. Some people are quite quiet, methodical thinkers, can think long term, may suit, you know, more swing traders. But for me, this seemed to work better for me. So that seems to be as good as a trend as I can see. Started here, touched a couple of times here, finished beautiful here. Didn't quite make it up the top. So that, to me, especially as we've had this breakout and we've came back in, but we've only got just below the middle of this, I'd say now there's a good chance we're likely to move up now. Those 2 legs became 1. Yeah, see, I'm guessing that one and that one, yeah. Yeah, so sometimes you'll get 2, well, a lot of times, 1 leg up, 2 legs up, 1 leg up, 2 leg up, and they actually make 1 as well. But just the fact that we've only come just below the midline here and we've pushed up strong, I'd say now, especially as we bounced on there, you can't argue with that. So I'd say now I'm thinking uptrend now, so it's just longs I'm looking for. But I am aware that it may struggle here, or may come down a bit, because there is the top of the original trend channel there, so it may use that as a bit of resistance. We bounced off. Yeah. It's clearly reacting off that midline there, isn't it? If we were going to stay in this range, I'd expect it to come back to the bottom, or as close to the bottom. But the fact that we've had a breakout and only come back to just below the midline and we're pushing up, to me, this is a move upwards now. And from what I can see here, we're moving up. It's finished beautifully there. You can clearly see that's respecting that line, and here. And we started here at the moment. Not too concerned with the top line. Yeah, there was a failed second entry short there, but we're below the EMA there. So I'm not sure whether we had this push down, a couple of legs down, a little bit sideways. We may have come down again, but obviously we didn't decide to move up. You can't always predict this, see? But the fact we've pushed up now and I've drawn this trend channel, this is making sense. Short-term trend channel break, new high. Whether we'll continue up, I'd say we're likely to, but it may struggle along this top line. I got like 170 ticks on this contract. You were trading the Nasdaq, are you, Jonathan? Even these two legs up can become one. Once you start getting into reading legs, it's amazing how there are great indicators. Yeah, so we got one here, two here, one there, two there. This is a great indicator of when the markets move. See, we went one leg up, another leg up, market came back down. One leg up, two legs up, market came back down. One leg up, two leg up, market came back down. One leg, two leg, market went up. So it really does work well, doesn't it? Yeah, I prefer it nowadays. Do you still trade Pats, though, do you? Or do you trade differently? Because there's no reason why you can't trade Pats on the Nasdaq, is there? I'm assuming there's more liquidity there, is there? Than the S&P, or is there? I know the point system's slightly different, isn't it? Or the point value is slightly different. I didn't last night, mate. No, I didn't have a look at anything last night. But I feel anchor action moves a lot faster. I feel like it gives me more detail. But you still trade Pats, do you, Jonathan? Okay. I kind of like that second entry long there. I really like that. We haven't made it. Oh, come on.
Order submitted.
I like this. I really like this. This is a second entry long, and it's a failure. And I expect to make a new high, and we're in an uptrend. So for me, I just hope it doesn't get much bigger.
Order filled.
Okay, second entry long. Nice big bullish bar off the key entry point. We're an uptrend. We've had a short-term trend channel break, new low. I'm expecting to come up here. This is a good trade for me. There's a new thing there, so we've got a new recount here. So try go low once, try go low once. It's also a failure. So second entry long, a failure off the key entry point. So this is a good trade for me. Let me think where it's likely to go. There's a leg here, I'd say, plus a leg here. I'd expect to get to the tops, but I don't want to be too greedy. So let's let it go. That's a nice trade, that is. Love where it is. My only slight concern is we still have this top of this line, but I think the trade's okay. I think the overall picture is up at the moment, so it just might take a little bit of time to get up. It may do, but I like how bullish that is, and I like where it's sitting. We've had this short-term trend, we've had a break, and I expect a new high. Not only is it a break, it's a second entry long, and it's a failure. EMA's facing up. My only concern is we have had this prior range, but to me, it's just sometimes it will take a bit of time. But this is the type of trade that if it loses, I haven't got a problem with it because I believed it to be a good trade. And if I lose it, it's just from lack of a bit of experience, that's all. So I've not got a major problem with that. Now that is also a failure, which is triggered. So once we get above here, then I'm confident we're going to push higher then. Because there may be some short trades there, and if it triggers, it's triggered them in. And let's see if it triggers their stops. If we can get above here, I think we're okay there. It's just going to take a bit of time, really. I'm not too bothered about it. Well, I like to go for 1-to-1, so when it breaks above this high, I'm just going to drop me stop in and just see what I can get, mate, to be fair. But things are looking bullish, so it could go. I could ride it right on up, so dragging that for. I'm just going to see. I like where it is. It's a really nice foundation for a good push up that, so let's just see. I'm pretty sure that Gorilla Guide's sitting this right the way up, so it might just rock it up in a bit. I'm just trying to think if there's some shorts. There may be some shorts. I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. But it just might take a bit of time to get up there. Once it gets above here now, I think we're okay. Scratched it, did you? Sometimes it'll do this and it'll put the willies up you a bit, and it's also possible it might not work because we have got this top, but for me it was worth the trade. Yeah, it might go a bit sideways, but I'm in the trade. I believe in the trade and I like where it is, so I'm quite happy to let it ride, and if it fails, I've not got a problem with it. It's a 4-point risk, but it might just go a little bit sideways, but I kind of hope this one triggers, but I think we're okay. It's the news that's concerning. Right, okay. Is the news still on, is it? Might just take a bit of time, we'll see. I like the fact that all this is sitting nicely and it's looking up. I don't mind if this triggers, actually. Oh, it's triggered. Now, it might come down and it might take us out, but we'll see. I thought the trade was okay to take. But if it happens, it happens. That's all I can do is put my stop in there and wait and see what happens. A lot of cases it does come back here, and I see so many of Max charts and it comes back and nearly stops them out. But it's there for a reason, and the bar's there for a reason, so it might just take a little bit of time. Powell's testifying. Let's hope he hurries up and testifies then. 3991, is it? Yours is back here a bit. Yeah, I've had a tendency in the past to move my stop a bit, but I'm stopping doing that now. It's just a bad habit I need to get out of. If we can get above here, then I fancy us to rock it up a bit then, but we'll see. If it loses, it loses. I've not got a problem with it because I'm happy with the trade. But sometimes they do take a bit of time to kick in and a bit of time to get moving. Sometimes you just got to trust it and go with it. 1 minute it looks like it's coming down, next minute it looks like it's going up, but it just looks to me like it's going a little bit sideways. I don't really want to move me stop. Just leave it there, see what happens. Sometimes they do take a bit of time, but I like the push up sideways and I expect another push up. Everything's working as it should do. So that's good. See, I could move the stop down, but if it gets below here, it's probably going to take a lot of longs out. And if it does, it's probably going to push down a bit. So even if I move mine 2 or 3 ticks lower, it's just money I'm going to throw away. So the sensible thing will be to leave it there, because if it does, there'll be a lot of longs in there, I assure you of that. And if it does break below there, I don't think 1, 2, 3 ticks is going to rock it down quickly and take us all out anyway. So it's getting a bit volatile now. I'm saying it's got to be because of the news. But if we can get above here, I'd say there's likely going to be some shorts in there. If we can get above here, then I think we're okay to push up. Push up then. It depends on it. And it's clearly going sideways at the moment, so you just don't know, do you? My experience of this, if it's a good setup, I'm best just to leave it. If I believe in the setup, I've just got to let it do its thing, because most of the time it'll work. Guarantee if you get out of it here, you'll lose a couple of stops, it'll rock it up and you'll lose. This will work more times than it won't, so I think you're best off just staying in it. See, 1 minute looks bullish, next minute looks bearish, but I don't use it, Bill. And I know Mac, who teaches this, doesn't use it. But I know what you're saying. There may be a load of traders sat in here waiting for something, but no, I don't use it. At the moment, the last 4 bars, prices, the EMA's holding prices, so I think it will work up. It does, Jonathan, but for me, that was a good setup. And the reason that's not going to work is because maybe the news is on, or just on the odd occasion they don't work. Sometimes it'll go a little bit sideways, and when it goes a little bit sideways, it is a little bit more riskier. But I still think, from what I'm seeing here, price is stayed above the EMA. So what I'm thinking, it's going to push up. I think the bulls are going to win, and when we get above this one and then this one, then we'll push up a bit higher. So I think it's still worth. I believe in the trade, so I'm just going to sit in and let it go. If I'm going to do this, in the future or for full time, I've got to just trust in a good trade and let it go, because more times than not, it'll work. I've gone out of so many trades like this, at the good trades, and it's frustrating because they'll go 3-4 points. So
Stop filled.
Okay, it took me out. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes up now. A lot of times it'll take out your stop and then go up, but I thought if it took that out, pushed out of it, I'll look to see what happens. I thought the trade was okay. I'd still think it's going up. Just sometimes it'll just, look. New count, so. Yeah, it looks like it's going to go up. But I'm not going to randomly jump in it. It's still chilling, are you? I did consider taking it down an extra tick. Sometimes it does make a difference, but for me, it was an okay trade. Just sometimes it's the way it goes. So what was the? It was a tick below it, wasn't it? So it was 4. Was it 4 points? I can't remember now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 points. Okay. Purely because it's gone sideways, so let's remove that. If it can get above ESC, then I expect it to go up. Sometimes it'll do that, push up, go sideways, and then push up again. There's a new high. First entry, so we get another push below, finish bullish. Yeah, that's the one I took there. So you can count this, you can restart the count or count it. For me, that was a second entry long. Plus, because we got a low here and then we push up, we got a new low here, so that's the first entry. So that's a failure as well. So it's a failure and a second entry long, and it's just nice off the key entry point, but it did go a little bit sideways, and I think the reason it went a bit sideways is because they're probably traders still thinking we're in this range and we're going lower. And I think there's traders thinking we're going higher, which I think is why it's gone sideways eventually. But for me, things are looking bullish. So this is a possible second entry long. We got new high there. First entry, second entry. Possibly fade the breakout. Let's just get one ready.
Order submitted.
Just in case we get something bullish, because clearly going sideways here, this would be to fade the breakout. So see how this finishes. Got a couple of points on it. It's finished right on that bottom line. See what happens here. Okay, let's bucket that idea up. See, after that one, there's a new high. First entry, second entry. Yeah, I'm not looking for short at the moment. See, we got this midline again, and historically, just going back here, it's used that as one leg down, two leg down. This might be an option back up. Could call that a hidden second entry long. It's typically struggling past that midline, and it's pushed up. So see what happens. Yeah, it's no good. Just gonna get rid of that
Order cancelled. That's okay. See, for me, this trend's valid. Touched here, touched a bunch of times here. Actually closed bullish here, but see what happens. It's definitely struggling here. I think if I'm going along, it's going to have to be a higher low or a failure. Oh, sorry about that. I don't usually take risky trades there, and I thought that was a really good one, to be fair. Second entry long, beautiful place. I thought that was a really good trade, and it was also a failure. The short-term trend channel break, you expect a new high. Second entry long, failure, beautiful buy, exactly where I like to take it. But occasionally it just does not work. It's obviously gone a little bit sideways because there's going to be people thinking that maybe we're in there. But I thought for a minute we were going to be okay when we pushed up here. I thought if we get above there, then we're okay. So this could possibly be. See, for me, I think the bias has started to change to moving up, but perhaps it hasn't. Let me just remove that a minute. Perhaps this is just... It's just the way that when this came down, it didn't come to the lows. We started pushing up, so then I drew that line in, and we'll see. Perhaps we're still in this range after all.
Right, let's make sure we don't get shafted at the bottom. The bottom could be here. This could be a breakout. Let's have a look at this, see if it's a better place to put this. I think that's the safest bet. If I'm going to take a long here or soon, I'd rather take it right at this bottom and not too high. I would still expect a new low here because it hasn't made this measured move and it hasn't got down the bottom of the chart. So I would still expect a new low. Also, there's a possibility. No, it's all right. But I'd want to break a new high first, which I don't know what we're going to get. Mm. Oh, is he? Trouble is with Ninja Trader, Bill, if you have the ATM strategy, you get to use it for 2 weeks, then it costs you $1,000, or you can pay a month to rent it. So that's the downside to it. Okay, we've had a break at a new high. Let's see if we're going higher or what we're doing. Hmm. Hmm. adjust this. I don't know where this top is really, isn't it? It's that's the trouble. Some of these days you just randomly hello, mate. How you doing, Sam? Why didn't you stop when you were 5 points up? That's a good question, mate. I called it a day most times after just 2 points. To be fair, mate, that's the first time I've lost a trade when I'm up. I thought, because I had that short-term trend chant. Well, sorry, I had that bigger. To me, when it came back down and it didn't, came here. No, it was this one, wasn't it? I thought we were going back up, so that's why I took that second entry long. But well, it is what it is, mate. Okay, let's see if we get 2 legs in. Okay, this is a clear breakout.
Order submitted.
Oh.
Order cancelled.
Okay, 2 legs up. Careful getting into them. I've been in them and lost before. Even if I put that back there, I still don't think. Just wondering whether some may be thinking that's just a breakout and pushed higher. We've made a new high there, haven't we? Where have we? Let's have a look. No, not quite. But it has come right down the bottom, isn't it? So let's remove that for now. Let's Let's take that up a bit. Touching a few times there. It's just hard to know exactly where to take this, isn't it? I believe it is, Bill. I haven't paid any tax on what I took out purely and simply because I'm obviously got to take into consideration all your losses as part of your investment. So for me, I've got to withdraw a little bit more before I start thinking about tax. But yeah, I believe it is. You got in down here, oh, some did you? Whereabouts from here? Did you just buy the bottom or what? Oh, excuse me a sec. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Someone's in the bathroom at the moment. Sam, yeah, what I'd done, mate, is as we'd pushed out here, we'd only come back to here. That one I was looking. No, here, sorry. This is what I'd done there. We'd pushed out, obviously I had that a bit low, we'd pushed out, and we'd come here, we'd gone up again and bounced here, so it sat beautifully along there. So, where was the trade I took? So it was here. So for me, we sat lovely. We come off the bottom. We had a short-term trend channel. Second entry long for me. That was a good. It was also, there's the new low there. It was also first entry. It was a failure, and a second entry long short-term trend channel break. Expected a new high. So I thought that was good because started here, touched twice here beautifully, and here stunningly, and that for me was all the way up here. But obviously there's some people thinking we're still in this range, so there's possibly a break out of it and a pull back in. I don't know. But I thought the trade looked beautiful to me, which is why I quite happily let it go. It didn't really affect me psychology. Excuse me again. How much will I get out of this one here? That second entry long one. I was expecting another leg up, so I was expecting to get up here because obviously it looked like a trend to me. The second entry long. I mean, even if it were just moving back up to here, there's plenty to get a few points. Okay, new high, lower high. Bit congested. Tempting. Short-term trend channel break. 2 pushes up to new high. Stuck in them before.
Order submitted.
Let's see if we can wait on a failure.
Order cancelled. Order submitted.
Hopefully, if this triggers a second entry long, we may get a failure. See what happens. See if we can get a failure here. We've gone what looks like to the top, and I expect to come down now. New high, trying to go once. Let's see if we can break above this. And then go lower. It's going to be below the EMA though. Thanks, Toad. Cheers, pal. See you there, sorry. I mean, it may come back up, but just see what happens if it does break below there. I'm bearish. Then I'm interested in taking that short and see what happens. Might not.
Order cancelled.
Looks like we may move up. This could be the failure. Do I take that on the engulfing?
Order submitted.
Second entry long, which is triggered off the key entry point. See, it's not somewhere I want to go long. We're at the top of the channel, see. It's a bit that's concerning me. That's a failure, but I'll prefer it to break below here to take out the longs. Something about it I don't like.
Order cancelled.
Here's a failure. The bit that's got me interested is that a second entry long. That's triggered, and I think it's going to be stopped out, so we may get another leg down.
Order submitted.
Failure.
Order submitted.
Leg down, 2 legs down. See if we can get a little bit out of it. Thought there might be some longs in there. I don't want to be going long right to the top. This is at the top of the channel. If anything, it's down for me. Not pushing down as much as I'd like though. See, for me, we're clearly at the top of the channel. That's short-term trend break. 2 pushes up to a new high. Try to go 1, stronger twice. Failure. Thought maybe some longs in there. See, we're still ranging at the moment. We've come strongly up to the top. 1 push up, 2 push up. So for me, it's okay. We've popped out the top a little bit. Break out 1 leg down, 2 legs down. See if we can get something out of it. A point or something, if anything. That's that leg. Let's see if we come down a bit more. A little bit more room to breathe.
Order filled.
Okay, 1 leg. We've broken that leg now, and I'm just not mega convinced at the moment. It's probably going to come right down, and but we've had 1 leg down, 2 legs down, so I'm quite happy with the way that worked out. So at least I'm 375 up now, so that's a bit better anyway. So I took that fairly, didn't I? I mean, you could have took the fairly there, but I prefer to go below there because if there was any longs in there, that's where their stops are going to be. So I'd say this is probably going to come down, and I probably should have sat on it longer, but oh well, it is what it is. My confidence level isn't fantastic at the moment, so I'm just not mega happy with taking it right down, but That was the failure, but I took it down here. Let me just remove them. Yeah, see, for me, what I'm seeing at the moment, we're clearly in a range day. We had that breakout here. I did move that up a bit, but we clearly had a breakout. We had one push-up, two push-up, measured legs, and nearest couple of ticks. Yeah, look, I should have stayed in it, but it is what it is. See, that's nice and strongly pushed right up there. Trying to go higher once, new high, try to go once, try to go twice, failure. I expected it to come down. Do you use volume profile too? Me? No, I don't, mate. No. I put my order in here, which was a little bit more risk, but I thought I would be more comfortable breaking it down there. Yeah, so you could have got 4 or 5 points, but oh well. I'm just happy to be back in the green again, or up a little bit more. So what did I get out of that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 2.75 points. That was the only other one, which I don't think was terrible in itself. No, I think this is going to come right the way down here, right the way down the bottom. Frustrating. I should have stayed in it really, but you know, my confidence level's not brilliant at the moment. See, so I'd rather one leg, 2 legs. It's nice to see that trade copy working flawlessly for a change. Yeah, we're doing exactly the same as this. Strong push up, break, new high. Strong push down, break, new low. I'll be shocked if it doesn't come down here. I came out here, didn't I? So, 2. Could have got another sort of 3 points maybe out of it. Be an ideal place to put your stop there. I'm not fully convinced the best place to put this. It's touching 3 times there, once there, and the body's fitting there, so I can't see where lower to bring it really. So for me, yeah, we've had a small breakout there. After 2 strong pushes up, I would say without doubt it's got to come back in. We had try to go once and the failure. What I liked about it is there's a second entry long, so I'm almost sure there's going to be some longs in there, and when it ticked below here, we came down nice and strong there, so. Yeah, I favour this to come down here. Kind of hope it doesn't, but. You have very fine trading. Oh, thank you. It's definitely been a more positive day. It's a shame about that one, because for me, just the way it came down to here, it came down to there, it came down to there, and it looked to me like it was working its way up. And that's the trouble sometimes. If you get it wrong, you can get on the wrong side of the market. Now, to be honest with you, that certainly could have come back to the top. But for me, it just like it was moving up. But it just goes to show sometimes you can just misjudge things. And that was purely just a misjudgment on my behalf. It wasn't a bad trade based on what I saw. That was a good trade. I think that was okay. See, it's frustrating when you see this. I should have stayed in, really, to be fair, because the next point of call, really, after a breakout and the failure, breaking below here is at the bottom. So I could have got 5, 10 points, probably more. I'm not a fan of trading ranges, I've got to say. I don't mind it when they're all hitting the same point, but I could have brought that down to about here, and later on it's probably more likely going to come down to here. It is what it is. Okay, so I might knock it on the head there, I think, guys. 375 minus fees, so that's not too bad, to be honest with you. It's been quite a choppy day, but I think my reads have been okay, obviously, apart from that one. I mean, with that push up there, it could have just come to the top, even if we're in a range. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? I should have saw that one and maybe thought, but the trade itself looked okay. I just got caught on the wrong side of it, which is unfortunate, but it happens. And that just comes with experience. Lack of experience, you tend to want to jump in a little bit too much, but I'm okay with that. The trade looked okay for me, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy the way it went. Well, I'm not happy with the way it went, but I'm okay with the way it went. I can deal with it okay. It doesn't affect my psychology at all because I believed it to be a good setup. I mean, normally when you have a short-term trend channel, we have a break, we have a new high anyway. But obviously things went sideways because there's probably a bit of confusion. Are we going up? Are we coming down? And then sooner or later, either the Bulls or the Bears will win, and the Bears won there, and down it came. So I appreciate you guys looking up on me. Don't forget that's open for now. That offer's on for another couple of weeks. 80% off and 80% off for every month after that, should you be still in an evaluation. So my code's there. If you use it, I appreciate it. It helps me out. It enables me to trade full time. But it's there if you require it. So be good trades, mate. See you tomorrow. Thank you. It's been a better day today, more positive day today. I'm happy with the way things gone. Yeah, maybe I should have got out at when I was $500 up, but I usually go very, very careful and don't do anything silly when I'm green. And that's the first time I remember being green and messing up. But the trade looked good to me, so it is what it is anyway. But I'm okay with it. It happened. It's fine. It's a learning curve. It's experience. Sometimes, unfortunately, you get caught on the wrong side of the market. That's life. That's, inexperience. But I'm okay. It's trades like that don't bother me. So thanks, Sam. We got back in the end. Look at that. It's a shame, isn't it, when you see that? But I think getting into something like that comes with confidence. I'll tell you almost certainly that Gorilla guy will be in there, and he'll make some nice. What's it made? 5, 10. It's probably going to make a good 15 points, I'd say, by the time it's finished. Probably doing something very similar to that. So yeah, it's been a hard day. Still up 1,504 accounts. Well done, mate. Good on you. Thanks, Blaze. It's been a better day tomorrow. So have a great evening. If you're carrying on, good luck. And I will chat to you guys tomorrow. So stay safe, take it easy, and we'll talk tomorrow.